Hey coaches, today we are going to learn how to complete your very first hustle hour, or you may have heard this called a power hour. This is a simple step process of completing some very key business building activities. You have a business activity tracker here that you can find in your Coach Online office, or it is also known as the BAT tracker. And this basically helps give you some direction and helps you check off the list of each activity that you've completed. Now you can tailor this to your goals. If you only have, let's say, 30 minutes a day to do these activities, you will, instead of doing 20 minutes for a certain section, you do, 5 or 10. And instead of, trying to reach, let's say, 15 people, you cut that in half and you try to reach a goal of 5 to 7 people in whatever category you are working on. I want you to keep in mind that these business building activities work just like following your health and fitness program. If you have committed to a program that is proven to get you results, working out 6 days a week, following the ultimate portion fix every single day for 21 days or 80 days, right? You can set an expectation for pretty good and significant results if you are consistent in those actions for those 80 days, right? So this system is a lot like your health and fitness journey. The more you do it and the more consistent you are, the more success you are going to see. And if you can only be realistic with the where you are in your life right now. You, just because you're busy doesn't mean you can't do anything. Be realistic. If your life situation, if you come to the conclusion that you can't do this every day, you can only do it 5 days a week, 3 days a week, even 1 day a week, something is more than nothing, and something is always progress. But I want you to keep in mind, if you have come to the realization you can only perform certain activities 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or 3 days a week, your expectations for the results on the growth of your business have to correlate with your actions. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to jump into is how to add to your network. And again, like I said, if you want to try to complete these tasks, and let's say you have only 30 minutes, you're going to cut this in half, this activity, to 5 minutes. So how do you add to your network, right? And start growing your following? There are multiple ways to do this. One of the first ways to find people that you have things in common with is to search hashtags. And if you look to the left side of your screen, on the very first picture where it says step 1, if you are on your search page, you click the little magnifying glass at the bottom, and on step 2, you search a hashtag, something that you can relate to. I'm a firefighter wife, so I search hashtags, posts that are hashtagged with firefighter wife. And when I do this, I want to find posts that have, I want to find hashtags that have less than 50,000 posts linked to them. So as you can see in step 2, I found one that I liked. It says firefighter wife problems, and there are 659 posts on Instagram with this hashtag. So when I click that, I come on over to step 3 and I scroll through all these different posts from different people that use this hashtag. And I found one here that stuck out to me. A younger woman, she's holding a baby, caught my eye right away. I clicked on it. Then we move over to step 4. I check out how many followers she has. There are different rules of thumb. Some people say if a person that you are attracted to has less than 5,000 followers, go ahead and, add them to your network. I particularly look for people that have less than 1,000 followers. That is more my preference, and you can determine that based on doing this activity and what you feel uh, uh, and find works best for you. So as you can see, she only has 384 followers. She's got a great feed, and I started following her. So I clicked where it says following. Initially it said, ask me if I wanted to follow her. I clicked that, and now it says I'm following her. Then now how to track this person that I want to start building a relationship with. Come on over to step 5. I clicked on that same post that caught my attention. And on the bottom right-hand side of the picture, there's a little flag. I touch that and I hold it down for a few seconds. When I do that, my collections pop open. And as you can see, I have created a few collections. One of them is named Prospects. And if you haven't created any collections yet, you can simply hit the plus sign and name and add your first collection category. So I added her to my prospect category. Now you can repeat this process over and over again throughout the different ways to find new connections, right? So the next connection I'm going to show you on the very last screenshot, all the way to the right-hand side of your screen, is finding people through pages that I have the same interests. So my youngest daughter, Cassidy, loves this show on Disney Junior called Bluey. So I went back to the search page, I clicked account, and I typed in Bluey, and it was the first one, it popped up, and I clicked on that. And when you go to that common interest page, if you click on that, right, I'm not going to show you here, but if you click on that page, Bluey TV, right, it's a Disney Junior show. It had like thousands and thousands of followers. I can't remember. I don't know if it had 1 million followers or like, I don't know, or hundreds of thousand followers. I can't remember, but it had a lot. But what I can do is use their follower list to find people similar to the type of people I want to interact with, people that I feel like I have something in common with, and I can find and attract new followers that way as well. And the very last way I will suggest that you can find and connect with new people and add to your network is just by simply following friends of friends. Now, don't go to friends of your Beachbody friends because I'm sure they are trying to connect with their following already. And you can do this with followers of yours or people that you follow already. And if you find that their followers, you feel like you can connect with them and you have things in common with, you can start following them and follow the same 5-step process when you find people with that method. So the idea here is when you're doing your hustle hour or half hour, you just simply spend the 5 or 10 minutes just doing these activities and these activities only. If you only have 5 minutes, try to connect with 5 people, right, in 5 minutes, or 3 to 5 people, right, within 5 minutes. If you have 10 minutes, go for, like 8 to 15 people if you have a little bit more time. As you go and move along, you'll get better and more efficient at it. So next step, now that you have learned how to add to your network, and you can, now I want you to realize that you got to flirt with these people, right? You got to build connections, you got to build rapport. I want you to think of your Instagram or your social media as like a big cocktail party, right? If you went to a cocktail party and you stood in the corner, right, with your back faced towards everybody, is anybody gonna want to talk to you? Are you giving off a vibe that you are a person that can hold a conversation? No. So think of your social media as like one big cocktail party that you're starting to build relationships with people and getting to know people. So, all right, first let's go over who, right, you should start flirting with. Well, first of all, you can go to your prospect list. You can go to that collection where your prospects are, and you can start flirting with people there, right? Those people that you've already found that you have things in common with, right? And that you felt like you connected with by checking out their page. Anybody that's watching your IG stories, anybody that likes or comments on your post, you can start flirting with. And how do you flirt with them? When you find that you've come across somebody that you have, you feel a connection to, you feel like you can vibe with them, you feel like, you can maybe even see yourself hanging out with this person, right? I want you on each of those people, right? If you have 10 minutes to do this or 5 minutes, right? Set that expectation of whatever your goal is to flirt with 3 to 5 people or 8 to 15 people, whatever that is, right? I want you to like 3 of their posts and comment on one of them. And when you comment on one of them, not just like gorgeous with an exclamation mark, right? If it's a picture with, let's say this woman and her kids, and they went to like the zoo, and the zoo had this like new attraction or something, say that looks like so much fun, where is this? I'd love to take my kids to that, right? Something with at least 5 words or more on their comment. Make it meaningful, make it sound like you are interested, truly genuinely interested, and in what they're up to. And if you want to take it a step further, direct message them, asking them a question about something you found interesting on their page. Who else can you find to flirt with? Anybody that's starting to follow you. I love to directly message my new followers. If I feel like I can connect with them, if I check out their page and I feel like, man, this is somebody I can vibe with, I send them a direct message and I say, hey, thanks so much for following me. I really appreciate that support. I even ask them a question. Are you a coach too? Or are you on a health and fitness journey too? Chances are, if there's somebody that's following me, they've already taken interest in what I've got going on my page. So I feel very comfortable, saying those things to them too. And I really feel like you should feel comfortable as well when somebody starts to follow you back, because that's an intentional action by them to actually click that follow button, and they're interested in what they see. So I want to help you track a little early on as you go. For a very long time, it was hard for me to track these activities that I was doing. You can use your business activity tracker, but that's more like of a check off, right? To just say, okay, check, I did it, check, I did it. But if you want to keep a system going of of who you are talking to, right? If you have a business page, I don't think you have this feature if you don't have a business page. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure you only have this feature if you have a business page. On step 1, if you go to your DMs, you're gonna see you have 2 categories, a primary category and a general category. Mostly everybody that you have a direct message with goes into your primary category. So what I like to do is use the general category for people that I'm starting to flirt with. And if you want to move them to this general category, you can see in step 2 that if you swipe to the left, you'll get some options. And in the middle, you'll see where it says general. You click that and it's going to move them to the second place of your inbox labeled general. You can even, if you, let's say you open a message and you read it and you're like, you know what, I really want to give this person my time and attention and answer them purposeful, I need to think about what I want to say to them, but you just don't have the time at the moment. Click unread. So that way, when you open up your DMs, their message is still flagged that you haven't read it yet. So it reminds you to go back and respond to them when you have more time. When I was working as a nurse, this feature was huge for me because there were so many times that I would open up a message and I would get distracted and I couldn't respond right away, and people would fall through the cracks and I would miss an opportunity to connect with people because I wouldn't do this. So that's a huge feature there. All right, next, another business building activity you're gonna do, and it's probably the most scary one, right, is you're gonna be inviting people in this process. And same concept here, if you only have 30 minutes to do this and not an hour, you invite for 5 minutes and you try to invite 3 to 5 people within that time frame. Or if you've got the full 10 minutes, you try to invite that 8 to 15 people when you dedicate time for this activity. So let's see, tips, like who should you be inviting, okay? So anyone that you've built rapport with. We've already talked about how you are gonna start building rapport with people. You're liking people's posts that you feel like you're connected with. You're sending them, meaning you're commenting on their posts with authentically and with intent behind those comments, and you're showing interest in people when you're flirting. So, and then sometimes, like I said earlier, when you're flirting, it even carries over into direct messaging, right? So once you've built rapport, there's no set time frame, a week, 2 weeks, right? Whenever you feel like, it's a good time to say, you know what, I feel like, we've gotten to know each other just a little bit, and I feel like, I'm comfortable. I don't want it to feel icky, right? When you're inviting somebody. I don't want it to be a cold invite. To me, I don't like when people do that. To me, that's awkward. But when you have taken time to get to know somebody, then this feels more natural and doesn't feel icky and awkward to invite them to what you're doing. So this can be anyone that is watching your stories, anyone that's liking your posts, commenting on your posts, anyone from your prospect collection that you've built rapport with. And the way I like to track who I'm actually inviting is, you'll see in the screenshot in the top right-hand corner of your DM that has been already opened, right? This is a conversation that I opened up so you can see. The top right-hand corner, there is a little flag. When you click that, right, it's gonna flag your DM. So that way, when you, on the second screenshot here, all the way to the right-hand side, when you're looking at your actual whole inbox of DMs, you can see the little orange flags on the right-hand side, and that will prompt you to know these are the people that you actually invited. And this step is gonna help you when you need to start following up with people in the future. And one last thing, let's say you invite somebody and they are interested in joining your business opportunity call or your challenge group. I, after this, like to move them over to a section that I have a folder in my notes section on my phone. I have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, I'm not quite sure if you have something similar to what the notes is. If you don't, you can use Google Docs, but this system is all designed for you to be able to do this on the go. Because remember, I built my business for 4 years while I was working as a nurse. So when I would go on lunch breaks or when I would go on bathroom breaks, this is how I can track, right? This is how I can work I worked in pockets, and I can track my business building activities. So when someone said, yes, tell me more about your challenge group, I'm interested, I go and I put their name on a list in my notes section. I even label it by the month. So we're, whatever month you're in whatever year you're in, I start making a list of the people that are interested in my challenge group. That way, I call that my hot list, right? That's my hot list. And that also sets you up for follow-ups as well. and tracking that there. So here we go. We're on to follow-up. So you can do this every day, or you can designate Fridays, right? Fridays are good days for follow-ups as well. So if you want to leave this activity for one day a week, you can. Again, you can figure out what works best for you. So where to start following up? You go to your general DMs, right? Because you've moved people that you've built rapport with or that you've invited, you move them there. Or people from your hot list, people that have told you, yes, I'm interested, tell me more about your challenge group. You have a list there. So you have two places that you can follow up from. And if you are a pen and paper person and you feel that works for you best, by all means, go to pen and paper. But I hope that I've given you an idea of how to systematically track people and pretty much like funnel them, right, through a system until they finally purchase that challenge pack. So the areas you will follow up from, again, are your general conversations in your DMs and your hot list. And a couple tips. So let's say you are working from your general DMs. Go all the way to the bottom, because those are going to be the oldest, right? People that you haven't spoken to them in the longest. So you could start there. Again, go to your hot list of people that have said yes to you. Let's say that you sent them a video, right? A Sizzler video, and you never heard back from them. Check on them, see if they've watched it, right? Anyone that you sent a share cart to and they haven't purchased, check. Those are people to be following up with. And anybody that has said no in the past, this could also come from your invite list in your general flagged DMs. It can also come from your hot list where people were interested, and then let's say they had an objection, maybe it was money, and they said they weren't ready to purchase until maybe the following month or whatever their objection was, but you have people from the hot list to follow up as well. And one of the last things you can, if you have time left in whatever time you have allotted for these business building activities, now is when you respond to messages. When you're sending those 5 invites, if one person happens to respond, I don't want you to answer them right away. I want you to get those 3 to 5 invites out in those 5 minutes, or those 8 to 15 invites out in those 10 minutes, right? So once you've finished all those activities, then if you have time, you can start responding to messages right away. Or if it's you did your business building activities and you had no time to respond to anybody, realize that if you don't have time, don't feel like you have to open up those messages right away. If you cannot tend to those messages until the next day, then you open them up the next day. And if you want to be even more proactive, you can message somebody and say, hey, I got your message. I'm very tied up right now with dinner and the kids and baths. I'm going to get back to you tomorrow morning, right? When I have a little bit more free time, but I haven't forgotten about you. And then just go back and swipe and make sure that their message is unread, so you remember to go back to them and give them your full time and attention. You can also respond to messages in pockets as well. This doesn't absolutely have to be part of your power hour, but this is just a suggestion. So I hope that helps, and good luck on your very first power hour. Team Diesel Core, our upline, has a calendar that they prepare every single month of leaders in our team that have multiple times a day, every single day of the month, that will assist you with guided power hours. You can do this on your own whenever you see fit. And I hope that this video will help you lead yourself to do your own business building activities. But if you feel like you need more accountability and a place to show up to, please, please, please attend our team power hours.